Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Beyond the Gates. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have already subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love each and every one of you all so much. I'm glad you're liking the response to Beyond the Gates. I did want to review it as soon as it came out, but I was trying to figure out how can I get to the show because I don't watch it. Because I don't watch daytime television. But then I ended up finding the CBS app. So if any of you all out there are trying to watch the show, I downloaded the CBS app for free. And yeah, so I've been watching it that way. So y'all try that. So anyway, again, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification button so you won't miss any of my reviews. And let's go ahead and get into this episode. So it pretty much picks up where it left off. You have Haley and Bill. They just came in from their wedding, and Bill got a text from a friend at the Washington Post that the Duprees were going to hold a press conference. And his whole thing is he gotta go. Haley said she don't want to go. He was like, yes, we need to go. And she was like, look, let them have it. She's not concerned about what they're going to say. Only thing she's concerned about is her wedding night. And he was like, no, I don't want to sit here and let them change the narrative on what they're going to do to the press. And she's like, she grabs him by his hand because he was about to walk out. And she said, no, Bill Hamilton, we are not going. I said, okay, put your foot down. So now back over here at the press conference, it's not the press conference yet, but the family, they have gathered together to get ready for the press conference, right? And so while they're gathered together, they're pretty much going over their game plan. He was like, I'm glad everybody is here. That is showing, that's showing that we have a united front. And they saying that Dani not there, but however that goes. And so they're just trying to figure out what they're going to do. And now they are starting to get like pings, right? Like pings, like, oh my God, social media has gotten a hold to the video. They're talking about their women's group is getting it. Their lawyer friends are getting it. Martin talking about all his colleagues are getting it. So everybody is going on a frenzy, how everything is like, firing off like a firecracker, right? Especially when somebody got a glizzy at a wedding. So that was going to go off crazy. And yes, y'all, I do say words like glizzy, meaning like gun or something, because YouTube, they don't want you to say certain things. So I try to code name certain things so I won't get in YouTube trouble. Okay, so now they're just trying to pretty much come up with a strategy of what they're going to use and all that stuff. And so Nicole is just like, I can talk on behalf of my sister because she's a psychiatrist, and she can talk about, how she was pretty much having a nervous breakdown and all that stuff. And he was just saying, like, we don't want to make it seem like the girl that went crazy or whatever, but she's just saying like she can talk about it from a different standpoint to make her look good, like she did everything under duress, so to speak. And yeah, they're just trying to come up with something. But here we go, the press is now here, so they have to get ready. All right, now the press comes in and they really want to get to work. So as soon as the press come in, they start asking questions. So Daddy Dupree is like talking to the white lady, and he was just like, oh, how is your child? And she was like, well, she said my child is doing fine. He said, okay, well, make sure you go ahead and get back to him. Like, we gonna make this quick, and quick is what it's gonna be. So he starts out saying like, there's a video that's circulating about them being at a wedding, and his daughter inadvertently discharged a gun, like a gun was inadvertently discharged. And he said, but nobody, was hurt. Everything is fine, right? And so the reporter lady was like, inadvertently, like, okay, so if it's just something this simple, then where is your daughter? And here she comes. Danny was like, his daughter is right here. Okay, cool. And you know what, y'all? To be honest, I really don't care about Ashley and Derek's situation. And I don't even think it's just because they white. It's just because it's boring. And I know they're trying to set the stage for Ashley and Andre to be together, but I really don't care. Anyway, I'll talk about it just because it's showing. So Ashley is on this high about birthing this baby in this elevator. And, she's pretty much big up in herself, saying She can't believe this has happened the first week on her job, and she couldn't have done this without Andre. And so while she's big up in Andre big up in her, and Derek looking like, what's going on between y'all two? So that's pretty much a lot of how their scene was going. So now that Dani is there, her sister Nicole like immediately like goes over by her and says, "Now you supposed to be laying low." And she was just like, "Well, yeah, but the press conference is about me, so I might as well be here." And the reporters were like, "But your daughter, she had a gun. Like, what? Why did she bring a glizzy to a wedding?" And he's an activist. He does speeches, so he's just like, "Look, our family is under the radar pretty much." He says he's an activist. They're in the spotlight. They're in the the city light, right? So he says they get threats on their lives all the time. So the gun is clear, it's clean, and she has license to carry. So why not? And so the reporter was like, "So I see you're really trying to make a spin on this." And then they just clearly asked Dani, like, "Why did you go to a wedding? Did you intentionally try to unalive your husband?" And Daddy Dupree is like, "No, no, nobody tried to pretty much unalive anybody, because since you all study the video footage so much, you could clearly see that when she held the glizzy up toward them, she shifted the gun before she shot it. So therefore, she was not trying to unalive anybody." And so they asked again, "So why were you trying to unalive your husband?" And that's when First Lady Dupree got up and she was like, "Look, I'm going to tell y'all the truth and nothing but the truth," pretty much. So back over at Haley and Bill, Bill is trying to get down there to that press conference. And Haley is like, "No, I don't want to go. Just let them be. Like, why are you trying so hard to fight against Dani and them? Like, it's over." And he was like, "I'm not going to let them win." He said, "I am an attorney, right?" And she's just like, "Yeah. And I see the only thing you're trying to do is care about your reputation. But tonight is about me. Like, this wedding night was about me, and nothing is going as planned." And he said, "Yes, I have to be there, because at the end of the day, they get out there, they get to spin the narrative, and they can say it however they want to say it." And he also was telling Haley, like, "Look, they are a big name around town, and if they disparage his name, then that not only affects me, it affects you as well." And he says, and that'll break down his clients to where they will no longer trust him, and he can have that for him. And he also had asked Haley, he said, "Now you know that I'm a lawyer. What happens when the opposing if the opposing counsel is not there?" So that means that they lose their case. And so that's the reason why he's really trying so hard to get there. And I guess I get it. And pretty much they did exactly what he said that they were going to do. They were trying to tarnish his name and his reputation, because when Mama got up, child, she held not one bar, like held nothing back. She said, she said, "What y'all thought y'all saw is not really what y'all saw. Y'all don't know what has been going on behind the scenes." She said, "My daughter has been humiliated." She was talking about how, they were together and he left her and went with this younger woman, how the woman came in and befriended the daughter and became the new wife. Child, she went down the rabbit hole. And she was really going in on Bill, making it seem like, he ended up leaving his wife for his homewrecker. And they've been carrying around an affair for a very, very long time, to the point to where, Dani just had a lapse in judgment and a mental slick breakdown, and she just couldn't take it anymore. And they was trying to spin it in that narrative, right? Almost like a crime of passion, but technically there was no crime. Well, I mean, Slick was a crime if they were decided to press charges, but it wasn't an actual crime. It actually was, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so now back over at the hospital, child. Come to find out that the lady ended up naming her daughter Ashley Andrea something. And they gassing Ashley up still. And it's almost the men are having like almost whose balls are bigger, without them saying whose balls are bigger, but almost kind of smaller. I don't know. Because they were saying like, "Well, you do this, you're a firefighter." No, but you will go over the world taking photos. Like, it's like they compete. You can tell that they're competing for the same girl, but they're doing it inadvertently instead of, saying let's arm wrestle. It's saying let's compliment each other so we can show how big of a man we are coming from the opposite person. I don't know. It was just really weird. And the nurse lady, the nosy nurse lady, she was just like, well, Ashley is just a lucky girl. I was like, I guess. Dani pretty much gets up and she just speaks her piece because she says lately in the past, like her mother and father has always covered up for her and, they cleaned up her messes. But she says in this front, she wants to take complete and total accountability for her actions. She said this is nobody's fault. This is hers because of everything that she's went through, everything that Bill has done to her and everything that she had to sit and endure behind them. She was just pretty much giving them the rundown as well. And she also took the heat of the video off of her daughter because earlier Kat was saying that it's pretty much her daughter's fault, slick, but not slick. Because I know there was a statement when they were before the press conference started. Nicole said she always cleans up Dani's mess. And then Kat had said like mother like daughter. So it's like they are, I don't know, like it's like a mirror between the two. I don't know. That's just kind of a weird dynamic. And while Dani has grabbed her daughter and telling her daughter telling her daughter Chelsea, like, this is not your fault. None of this had anything to do with you. She just is all, pretty much encouraging her not to make her feel bad. And all the while, guess who walks in the door? It is Bill and Haley, still in their wedding clothes. I'm like, so y'all didn't even want to change. So it's almost like they came there in their wedding clothes to look like the damsels in distress. Like we got pulled out of bed. We couldn't even enjoy our happy moment because of the simple fact that Dani Dupree came in and ruined our big day. And this is what I didn't understand and what I really didn't like. Bill came in and pretty much took over the whole service like they in church. Child, he came in and just took over the whole conference and they allowed him to. And I was like, what is going on here? Child, Bill, when I tell you Bill changed it, Bill changed it. He said that one thing about Dani that she said is correct, that it's not our daughter's fault. Like, it's not your fault. Pretty much it's your mama. Because he said for weeks, Dani has been harassing them. Dani has been assaulting them. Child, he even said that Dani disfigured his wife's face. I said, boy, shut up. And then Haley over there gonna grab her face. I said, girl, your face is not disfigured. It is not. And if it is disfigured, guess what? It's a cosmetic surgeon over here. You're gonna have to pay to get it fixed. Why is he trying to make it so hard to make Dani lose? Like, it's like he's trying everything, every fiber of his being to make Dani lose. It's like he hates her. It's like he underline hates her. He hates her success. He hates her family. Like, he hates the power that they have because he wants to covet it. He wants to covet everything that's big or that's great in her. He wants to take it from her and he wants to big up his wife. But the thing about it is, your wife can never be Dani. Your wife, you want somebody that you can have up under your arm, that you can kind of cater to and lead them the way and nurture them the same way that Dani nurtured you. And we gonna get there. We gonna really get there. And so all the while he's really trying to make Dani look bad, I am so glad that Dani Dupree got up there and put his hand over that mic and said, that's enough. Get away from the mic. Please get away from the mic. And then he steps back at the podium and he says, you know what? The press conference is over. And y'all have a great day. So when he was like, the press conference was over, I was like, dang it, to me, it looked like Bill won because I said, so this is it. Nobody's going to rebuttal. Nobody's going to say anything. So now that the press conference is over, you have Martin and his husband. They go back to the back and they're talking. Come to find out, his husband, I forget his name, y'all. I'll get it later. But he used to be a news anchor, and he was used to dropping like news tea. And he was really, really excited about everything that was happening. And it's almost like he wished he had his job back, but he's a stay-at-home dad, and he has to take care of them kids. So he's like a dad wife. I mean, yeah. And also he brought up the fact that when Martin had said, when Martin brought up, it was something that he had brought up about him having to, sometimes you get to a place to where you kind of boil over and you do things without thinking about them, like you reach a breaking point to where you do things that you didn't think that you would do. His husband was saying like there was something underlying about that, like it kind of made him think like it's something going on with you that you're not telling me. And he even raised the brow, saying that when you made that statement, Lady Dupree and Daddy Dupree looked at each other like, I hope, I hope whatever has happened to him in the past don't resurface. So that was real crazy too. But Child Martin is looking at him like, well, I don't really know what you're talking about. And he pretty much walks off. But I wouldn't be surprised if, because y'all know he had ended up getting like this phone call from somebody he used to work with. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's ready to go back into the workforce, being that them kids then got older and they don't need him as much. Then he's getting bored, so he's going to want something to do. And then he's going to get to digging and digging and digging into Martin's past and bring up them old dead bones that was buried. Watch what I tell you. And Dani again telling her parents, like, I hope you're not disappointed in me. And then they said they're not disappointed. And she said, well, your eyes tell otherwise. And she said, you know what? And I meant what I said. I want to take full accountability and responsibility for what I did. And she said, I want to call the police. And I said, what? They looked at her like, what? She said, yes, I need you to call the police so I can make a statement. Free. I don't need them to come in and try to embarrass me or ambush me. I want to go ahead and get ahead of it, so my statement will already be on paper. So now the police comes in, he takes the statement, and he's ready to do his job. Like, okay, so was anybody hurt? You know what I'm saying? What was the reason for the gun? This, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then Daddy Dupree steps in and says, oh, your name is such and such, right? So, oh yeah, I'm having golf with the chief of police, and I'll just put in a good word for you. I'll put in a good word for you that you did a great job here on today. Child, as soon as he heard that in his mind, it was promotion. You know how they do, a favor for a favor. You do something for me, I'll do something for you. So he pretty much wrote it up. It's on paper that nothing ever happened. It goes into the file, so they cannot bring it up again. And this is how they won, because I was tripping. I was like, how in the world are they going to win this? And this is how they won. And that was smart of them, girl. People know people, and it's good to have people in your pocket. Now, since that's done, Dani, she's just like, she goes over to talk to her sister, and they're just, pretty much going over everything with her. And Nicole says, look, I can help you. Like, I can get someone to talk to you about everything that's going on. And Nicole is just pretty much telling her, like, you need some help. You need to talk to somebody. And I agree. You do, Dani. You are spiraling out of control, and you need to talk to somebody. So when are you going to talk to somebody, Dani? I need you to talk to somebody ASAP, because right now you living inside your head. Child, why Bill mad? Bill is mad. He's just like, oh, so they're getting away with this again. They're getting away with it. Bill, leave it alone. You lost. You came down there thinking that you was going to interrupt this press conference, spin the narrative your way, have this lady thrown in jail, or whatever actions you wanted to have against her happen. It didn't happen. And Daddy Dupree said it best. Bill, you lost. Go home. Go enjoy your wife. Like you wanted to do. Everything worked out the way that it was supposed to. So go ahead with your little wife and y'all have it. And then here you go. And then Bill is saying, so where is Dani? Why are you worried about Dani, Bill? Why? You need to be worried about your little wife. So now Dani done went on down there to the bar, right? Because she need a drink. So she went down to the bar, and when she's having her drink, she's having a flashback of her and how Bill used to be. Because mind you, in this flashback, they're empty nesters now. Chelsea is modeling everywhere. Naomi, he just walked Naomi down the aisle. They're actually coming from Naomi's wedding. And he's pretty much praising her for giving up her life, her whole life, to be a mother to his kids and to push his career. Not only being a mother to his kids and push his career, but giving him the connections that he needed to be the Bill Hamilton that he is today. And I was just like, And you tried your best to destroy this woman. Every single thing that you asked her to do for you, she did it. And now look at what you did, and you promised to repay her in the long run. You said this next phase of her life, it'll be all about her. And you sit there and you lie, because once you got everything where you needed to be, you started smelling yourself. You started going through this whole situation of being older, trying to relive your youth, because when you were younger, you were broke. And I don't know what you look like. And it looked like you got a lisp. So it looked like you was broke, skinny with a lisp. And then you met somebody on the come up. You jumped on this girl coattail, and you got the come up that you wanted. Now you want to be this big, high and mighty man and kick your wife to the curb. And I will understand why she mad, because she washed out everything for you. And she sit there and she said, and she would do it again. And she didn't regret anything that she did. But now she does, because of how you treated her. Now you want to find this young lady that don't have no family, that don't have no money, so they can be totally dependent on you, and you can sit up and pretty much be a daddy to your wife. That's what you are, and that's what you're being. So, yeah. And child, when Nicole was sitting down there at that bar, she got on that phone and she made her a little quick phone call. I said, girl, who you calling? We gonna see in a minute. Now, Kat, again, Chelsea is being hard on herself. Kat came in to check up on her cousin, as always. And Chelsea has gotten to the point to where she wants to shut off all her social media because of this one mistake that she made. And Kat is pretty much encouraging her, like, you work too hard. You know what I'm saying? Don't let this one incident stop you. You know, just the whole building her up to make her feel. And then her mama said it wasn't her fault. Everybody is saying it's not your fault. It was just, but my thing is this. How was it not her fault when she maybe she didn't know that she was live. Maybe I guess she was just going to record it but not be live, but she accidentally was live. All right, girl, you'll be all right. This will blow over pretty soon. It's going to be the talk of the town for however long, but it'll blow over. It'll be another scandal next week. All right, so now back over with Bill and Haley. Haley mad. Haley like, why did you take me down there to embarrass me again? You got me over here with all these Duprees and I'm embarrassed again. He gonna sit up there and say, well, you said you didn't want to be alone. Can somebody slap him? Dani, come slap him. Anyway, so she was just like, what are we doing here? She, the same old excuse. This is not how I envision, her wedding night. I said, well, girl, you didn't envision a lot of things with your wedding nor your wedding night. Maybe if you would have stuck with your brain that said, don't invite none of them people, and that arrogant husband of yours didn't go behind your back and invite all them people, you wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. I mean, it's slick your fault. Oh, we see who the phone call was to. It was to Andre. Child, she didn't call Andre over there, told Andre to let himself in. She had on a trench coat with some red, put on your red, well, I guess them was red heels, and step on your high heels. They did some Johnny Gill, my show look good tonight, child, and they got it in. I thought it was for one night, but I guess it was for multiple nights. Child, Haley's still mad. Haley is still mad. Now she's mad at the fact that Bill comes out. He said, I thought we were going to get into bed. She said, I was going to actually join you in the shower, but I overheard you talking to a client about some type of homicide case. And she's like, so is this what it's going to be? Like, is this what's going to happen? And now she's thinking about everything that she's went through with the wedding and all of that stuff. Like, she says she's traumatized now that she sat down and thought about a glizzy being in her face. She doesn't know how to act. He said, well, I can come and calm you down. She was like, no, she want to take everything slow. So they get on the couch, they sit down, they hold hands. I was like, oh, okay. So, child, it wasn't no holding hands over here with Andre and Dani, child. They held hands, hold faces, whole butts, whole backs, holding legs, holding feet up in the air. They did what they needed to do because Dani said, I need some release because the pressure is too much for me. And yeah, Andre said the same thing that I said. I thought this was going to only be for one night. And she brings up what happened at the wedding, and he has no clue about what she's talking about. And he was like, she said, where have you been, under a rock? He was like, kind of, so to speak. And so, she talks about, the whole gun situation and how her daddy ended up bailing her out of the situation and all of that. And he was just looking at her like, dang, you've been going through all of that. And she was just like, yeah. And he was, I mean, at the end of the day, he was just telling her, like, you have to do something different. Like, you just can't have me attracted in all of your craziness. Like, almost like he don't really want to be a part of that. And she needs to do something to get help to make herself better. And she feels like it's all over now. You know, her daddy made the phone call. He knows people. He knows, you know, police officers, detectives, people in her office. So everything is pretty much done. She's on the straight and narrow now, and she said she's going to try to stay on the straight and narrow um until it kills her. And I was like, ooh, the way they showed her face. She said if it kills her, she's going to try to stay on the straight and narrow if it kills her. And I was just like, girl, what that mean? You finna get in some more trouble? Dani, from what they say, Dani has really been getting in a lot of trouble, because for them to always bring up the fact that Dani gets in trouble and Nicole bails her out. Dani gets in trouble and Nicole bails her out. She must really get into a lot of stuff. But then I kind of think about it like, is it always her fault? Maybe trouble finds her and she finds a way to make the trouble worse. Maybe that's what it is. And also, I want to know more about what's going on with Dana Leslie and Eva. I want to know what's going on with them, because I really thought we were going to dive into that a little bit more, but they had the whole wedding incident. So I'm assuming on the next episode, we're going to get into Miss Dana Leslie and what's going on with her daughter, Eva, and how is Ted going to end up recognizing them. I think that's a really good storyline that we need to get into. This whole Ashley and Derek situation, like I said, it's pretty much boring to me, because this is something that we've seen over and over again. You know, two people are going to end up together, and it's like they're setting up the plot line. I mean, yeah, but I don't see why we are dwelling on that so much. I mean, I guess I get it, but I really don't care. So anyway, y'all, this is Sheila Bila. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get 100 likes every single video. Like every single video, I want to get 100 likes. And yeah, subscribe on the way to 7,000 subscribers. And y'all have a great day. Bye.